All right, everyone, welcome to the Ramon Foster Show. I'm Eddie Provident. With me, as always, is the man on the show himself, Ramon Foster. Ramon, how's it going today, man?
Man, all good. Busy day, but hey, it's hump day. We got to get past this, man. We're good to go, though.
You know, I was going to say that DK was at practice, but he literally just walked into the shop. So we got a DK sighting.
Just to share with everybody, there's a virtual clean bill of health over there. Everybody's spirits were very high. The only one who looked even kind of iffy was Mason Cole, coming off with his ankle all heavily bandaged up, but he participated. And I got to tell you that Kevin Dotson shared with me, he said, look at that guy. And watch him walking in. I'm talking your language now, Moan. I see this. I got to get over there and write about this, but I just wanted to share with you guys that it's all good over there. Everybody but TJ participated.
There we go.
But still, it's very high spirits over there.
All right.
And that is your Pittsburgh Steelers update from sideline reporter DK. Sideline reporter now.
I love it. Speaking of, health and everything that's going on, Najee Harris obviously had the foot injury. It sounds like, according to DK, he participated today. But the guy that came in for Najee Harris, Ramon, I want to talk about Jaylen Warren for a little bit. Jaylen Warren, I've always described him as a bowling ball. On previous shows, you've heard me say he reminds me of Maurice Jones-Drew. Mm-hmm. One thing that if you watched his college tape that you knew about Jaylen Warren was he was a blocker. Yeah. And he showed it. He showed it on Sunday that man can, he could hit. And he even said in his locker room availability that he enjoys the physicality of football. That's why he likes it so much. Talk to me a little bit from an offensive lineman standpoint. When you have a running back that is like that loves to block, how does that help your job? How's that make your job easier?
Man, it makes it so much easier simply because you know this. One, he has an attraction for physicality. Okay, so when it comes down to pass protector, he's in on those types of blocks. The end around with Chase Claypool. Like, think about those blocks that he had leading on those, and also having the ability to simply run the ball. Like, you're getting three things at one when it comes down to a running back, man. Again, he's not Najee. He's not Saquon Barkley. He's the guy that you want on your team to go in the foxhole for you, and that's what we're getting out of him right now, man. His level of physicality is huge when it comes down to what type of style this offense is playing right now. And he's got good speed as far as getting to the edge and being more physical than DBs or safeties and stuff, man. Again, the Steelers always find a way to find a guy like this, man. And it's almost like this kid is playing with the spirit of Barry Sanders almost coming out of Oklahoma State here.
Yep. When you have a dude lined up next to the quarterback, especially in shotgun formations, how, like, I know you were a guard, but you played tackle in college. How, as a tackle, does that, when you've got that edge rusher, say it is Myles Garrett that you're going up against, or, one of the big time names in the NFL, and that, okay, even if I don't get him, if I just slow him down, I know that my running back's got my back. How much pressure does that take off of you?
It takes a lot, because this is one thing that has to be cleaned up too when it comes down to that type of protection. Like, it was beautiful with like D'Angelo Williams and Connor, and also Le'Veon too, man. Those guys were good pass blockers in the backfield. I knew this, and Munch trained us a certain way. You get one, they'll get the other. Don't matter which one it is, okay? Because they understand the assignment of who. If the linebacker shoots the gap quick, guess what? I got to take him first. First line of defense, I'm there. But what about the D tackle? Well, they know how to handle it. They'll cut them, fake cut, and then block them. Like, it's those types of things that are necessary to have for offense, because it's not just like sacks aren't just an OL type of thing. It is a team protection type of situation. If the tight ends give up a block on the edge, that's a problem. So think about the guy that's closest to the quarterback, and that is the running back in those situations. You don't have to stress about that. And having him at his availability, at his price, man, let's just be honest about that, being an undrafted guy, is huge. Why do you think he moved up the stat line like that? I mean, the depth chart like that. You don't do that for no particular reason, Eddie. Right. I'll be honest with you. I was a little like, what about Benny? But Benny plays his role well on special teams. Yep. And here's a guy I think that's probably more apt to doing the job in a running back position type of setting, simply because he got those reps at Oklahoma State. Look at his stat line from there. Like, he's been there. He's done those types of things.
Yeah. And I think too, we talked about, you and DK talked about the offense a lot.
Yeah.
And, it left a lot to be desired. We'll put it that way. I mean, if you look at your grading sheet, there was a lot of things that we as media, we as fans wanted to see more from this offense. The one thing I will say though, is I think that now that they know, they've seen Jaylen Warren in regular season play.
Yeah.
I think that is going to free them up with Najee a little bit to maybe, give him a little bit more of a break so that he is fresh when he's in there. He's coming off a foot injury, whether or not he participated fully, he left the game. Yep. So now you give Najee Harris the ability to say, hey, take a series off, take a couple plays off, get some rest. I really think that's going to change the dynamic of this offense a little bit.
And what's crazy, you feel more confident in that,
Yep.
Like that's the part of being able to build a team. Everybody goes after the names that we know and we love, as far as like, oh, let's pick this guy up off the street. He's available. No, you get guys like Jaylen Warren that are capable of doing that job too. His last year, of course, at Oklahoma State, man, 1,200 yards. Like that's a heavy load to be taken right there when it comes down to what he did in college. And of course, coming from Utah State too, before going to Oklahoma State, that's a good program in itself too. Like, it's not like he played small ball. He played big ball. And let's be real about Najee's situation. Yeah, he participated, Eddie, but are you willing to just send him out into the wolves with the way his ankle looked last week?
I wouldn't. I would be very careful in how I use him if I was that coaching staff. And I think that's what they're going to do. It's week 2.
Exactly. And that's where Jaylen comes into play, man. If he does what he needs to do at his position, that's protect the ball, no fumbles. Yep. Think about what this offense can turn into when it comes down to the way he led on blocks. I don't know if there's any other running back that you have that's going to hit and explode through guys the way he did this past weekend.
And look at what that did for guys like Chase Claypool.
Yeah.
Right? Like Chase Claypool with that end around, dude, if I had $1 for every time I saw that play in training camp up at Latrobe, like I'd probably be able to pay off my student loans by now.
and not just that.
That's one of their bread and butter plays, Ramon. And now having a guy like Jaylen Warren who's available to get to the edge first and make that block and take on the linebacker, take on that second level guy so that the offensive lineman can handle the first level guys.
Yep.
That's a big deal.
And sustain that block. It's one thing to get on a guy and not stay with him. I'll tell you this. It's so good, Eddie, that when you start getting that national recognition from guys like Brian Baldinger, you sit that to me.
Yep.
I mean, he's cleaning up guys in pass pro from a side shoulder. He's cleaning up guys up the middle. Like, that's a part of the game where the respect factor comes into by saying, oh, keep an eye out for this guy. I tell you what, I guarantee you New England tries to sends the dogs down on him this week. Watch this kid. He is who he is, man.
And I think my favorite thing about it was there was a couple of those blocks that Baldinger highlighted. He didn't have to stay on them because he crushed them. He sent them flying.
Yes, he did.
He put them on their wallet. It was great to see that from a running back. I mean, I that's what gets me excited about football. That's the kind of stuff that gets me pumped up is when you see dudes embrace the physicality and just put a helmet on a man. I love it, man.
It's so Pittsburgh. That's why you love it.
It's exactly why. Yep. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we definitely have some more football for you. Pro Football Focus, Moan. Our favorite people, our favorite entity in NFL media. Pro Football Focus came out with their highest graded defenders for week 1. And, Moan, you would think like Minkah Fitzpatrick, TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, Cam Heyward. Some names that should be on the list, right? Maybe. I would assume. I mean, I don't know a ton about football, but I know enough. Listen to this. Number 1, Myles Garrett. Number 2, Jerry Hughes. Number 3, Jeffrey Simmons. Number 4, Max Crosby. Number 5, Chris Jones. Moan. What? I don't even have anything, man. Like,
I know. I'll preface this. I know a lot of people use and appreciate what Pro Football Focus is. Heck, even I've started to use it some just in the grand horoscope or the grand scheme of what sport coverage is too. It's a basis for it. And every time, Eddie, I use them, I say out loud to people who are listening to me in the morning show, I say, you know what? Y'all know how I feel about them. I was like, this right here is just a good, what do you want to call it, surface level look at what they think the perception of what your players are. I don't know the metric, Eddie. I don't understand how they come up with these grades. To say that Minkah didn't have a pick six, some great breakups, some in the end zone in crucial plays. He didn't have a block punt and still doesn't make your top 10 list. It's bothersome to me a little bit, man. I don't get it.
Like, to me, it's one of those things, like, and this is where I lose, like, hockey is a big thing. Like, analytics is becoming really big in hockey, right? Mm-hmm. And I know this is a football show. I'm going to tie it in. But one of the things that I get frustrated with the analytics people in hockey is that they sometimes put the cart before the horse.
Right.
You know, sometimes there are players who they mean something to the team and it just doesn't show up on the stat sheet.
Yeah.
And my thing is with Minkah and TJ and Cam and Alex Highsmith.
And Alex,
right. The four of them did show up on the stat sheet. So we can't even use that excuse. Like, they're those guys that are the unsung heroes. No, this is the defensive player of the year who had an interception and a couple sacks. And I mean, like, what more, a pass deflection, what more can TJ Watt do? What more can Alex Highsmith do? 3 sacks off the edge. What more can Minkah do? A pick 6.
You want to know if this is correct, what Chris Jones logged this past weekend?
Oh, don't tell me.
1 solo tackle, 1 pass deflection. I don't understand. I know they won big this past weekend. Not even the sacks. Like, we got we have Alex Highsmith getting, 3 sacks on the evening. Now I know this is the thing. Cam has helped flush them out. It was a, sack by committee and some of those things. He ended up logging it, but I'm thinking about, there has to be a highlight. Like those names you named off. Okay. Myles Garrett. Yeah, I get it. Max Crosby, Chris Jones.
Good football players, man. They are
I'm not denying that.
Yeah. This is the cream of the crop in the NFL on defense. But here's another one, just so we show that we're not homers, Moan. Look at the game that Von Miller had for the Buffalo Bills on Thursday night, and you tell me he wasn't one of the top 5 guys in the NFL? What are they doing?
And not just that, like Von's pressure that he was getting 2 guys, 2 sacks, 4 solo tackles, and 2 quarterback hits. Like, this is where he was, like, pressures all day long. And for the life of me, I simply don't get it. Jeffrey Simmons, he had a monstrous weekend. Yes, he did. Yes. I watched it.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt.
Really good weekend, but I think I'm switching out Jerry Hughes for Alex Highsmith, potentially Minkah.
Minkah had 14 solo tackles. He had a pick 6. He had a blocked extra point that sent the game to overtime. Yeah. And look at how much he was getting under Joe Mixon and Joe Mixon's skin and Jamar Chase's skin.
Yeah.
The picture of Jamar Chase flipping off Minkah Fitzpatrick tells the entire story. Not only was he one of the best, if not the best defender on the field for probably the best defense in the NFL that week, he was getting under guys' skin and playing them physical and playing them nasty.
You want to know where else it doesn't make sense to, Eddie? Because it got released today. Minkah was also the AFC Defensive Player of the Week. Help me help you, Eddie. I have no idea.
You know who my dad compared Minkah to this week?
Who?
Rod Woodson.
Wow.
He said it's the closest thing he's seen to Rod Woodson in a Steelers uniform since Rod Woodson left. And that's a dude that has watched a lot of football, Moan.
It's almost as...
And he's right, though. I mean, he was everywhere. It's a different style than Troy Polamalu. Not saying that Troy Polamalu wasn't as good or better than these guys.
Right.
It's a different style. He's taking you behind the woodshed. That's what Minkah does. And he's a ball hawk too.
That's what greats do. They carve out their own lane.
Yeah.
That's what Minkah's doing right now, right? There's no need to compare him to Troy. No, when you say Minkah, you know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah, he is carving. You're absolutely right. He is carving his own place in Steelers, in the Steelers story.
Yes,
and he is, for him to not get the shine that he deserves is just, it's mind boggling to me.
Again, for the PFF buffs and lovers, like, I use it too. I will not say but I just don't.
It has its place. You're right. Yeah. It has its place, but I don't get it. There's a lot of times where I don't understand, man. I don't get it. I've watched a lot of football in my life, and I'd like to think that I have some kind of baseline knowledge. You played a lot of football in your life, and I'd like to think that you have a higher baseline.
And I still don't have it yet, man.
Yeah, man. I don't know.
We'll get there.
When we come back, it's everybody's favorite segment.
Hey, Mon.
Welcome back to the Ramon Foster Show. It's everybody's favorite segment. DK made sure to let me know it's the only segment that matters. We're brought to you, as always, on this segment by the Get-Go Cafe and Market, where it's all about quality. We've got 3 expert chefs who fine-tune every detail so that every sub and burger, salad, wrap, drink, appetizer, everything you get, Moan, gets made with fresh ingredients and always tastes amazing. Order your favorites at Get-Go Cafe and Market today. My favorite is always the breakfast burrito. I'm always going to say that. You better believe it. Moan, Freeman Burgess has a great question for us today on the YouTube page. First of all, Freeman Burgess, what a great name.
What a great name.
Like you carry a sense of importance with you when you have a name like Freeman Burgess.
Exactly, like young Freeman.
Yeah.
You got to have a deep voice when your name is Freeman Burgess. You can't.
That's
you
the smooth
like
jazz. That's the smooth jazz guy, man. Freeman Burgess is definitely a smooth jazz guy.
My name is Freeman Burgess.
Freeman says, "Hey Moan, you played with Mike Wallace, Darius Hayward-Bay, Ike Taylor, Martavius Bryant. Who was the fastest Steeler that you played with? And why was it Ramon Foster, if you've ever seen that Madden video on YouTube?"
Hey, man. Hey, that's a hilarious video, man. Oh, me, oh, my. Fastest guy I ever played with, it would probably have to be hands down, okay, Darius Hayward-Bay.
Man, I thought you were going to say Mike Wallace.
No, Mike was fast. I don't know if he was Darius Hayward-Bay fast.
Really?
Yeah, Mike was fast, man.
Yeah. Oh, I remember.
And just elite type of athlete. Okay, of course, y'all know what Coach Tomlin called him, one-trick pony, man. But even just on paper, I think Darius Hayward-Bay has the fastest 40 time. Mike Wallace was a 4.33 combine 40. Darius Hayward-Bay 4.30, and it looks like it. Okay, it looks like it. I saw a guy in particular trying to have a race in practice, and Darius Hayward-Bay was involved in it. It was told to that guy, don't jump in that race. I won't even name the rest of the guys. Just know Bay was in it. Don't race those guys. We've already had practice. We're good. Let the ego go. Guy jumps in this race with these other guys along with Darius Hayward-Bay. Bay takes off like it's light work. Running wasn't, you don't think about it. When me and you run, Eddie, and most of our listeners, we got to really contemplate, okay? Step forward. Breathe. Don't. That's us. Bay just goes. Not just going, but fast go, okay? This guy jumps in this race with them, and let's just say this. He rips his hamstring apart and didn't really play much after that.
No. Trying to race Hayward-Bay.
Bay and the group of guys that was with him. You hear me? Like, that's how fast he was.
You know, as a big guy,
yeah,
I am so jealous of people that can run fast.
See what I'm saying?
I actually told you this before the show jokingly that I was told in high school I looked like I had a piano on my back when I ran. I'm 6'3", Moan. I run my height in the 40-yard dash. Yeah. I am so jealous of guys like Hayward-Bay and Ike Taylor and Calvin Austin and Mike Wallace, because I'll never move. The only way I'm going to move that fast is if I'm on a pedal bike. And I don't even know if I could beat them in a race if you give me a pedal bike, Moan.
You see what I'm saying? Like, that's how fast he was, man. And that's also one of the reasons why he ended up expanding his career the way he did. Simply because he found the nick. Look, if I can be the gunner on special teams, ain't nobody gonna beat me down there. I'm that fast. Like, I don't even know if I saw Dree Archer move that fast.
That's
though.
Such a great point. The whole thing with him being the gunner on special teams and using his speed at that ability. That is such a good point.
It is, man, because he found a way. All right, look, I'm not the guy that you thought I was going to be a wide receiver. Well, watch what I can do in other ways to make myself more valuable for this team or the team that I'm on. Like, and it's one thing to actually, see guys that are that fast or know they are on paper. But a lot of guys don't look that fast or aren't that fast in football settings. I don't know if I actually saw Dree Archer hit that 4.2 speed, but I've seen Bay hit that 4.3 speed. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are differences in there where some guys aren't super fast on the field. Like, I don't think Troy Polamalu was a 4.3, 4.4 guy, but you never tell that on the football field, could you?
Yeah, we always hear it all the time. Football speed.
It's football speed.
Different. Yeah, in-game speed is different than the 40-yard dash speed.
I will say this. Of those three guys, let's go here for the ones we saw produce. Bay was that fast. Mike Wallace showed it. Martavis did also. You know, like I could see that. Like Martavis was probably the slowest out of all of them, and he just pulled away from folks.
He was a freak, man. He was, he was different. I honestly thought that was going to be the next big thing in a Steeler uniform, a wide receiver. It's a shame it didn't work out because he had some crazy talent. He had it. Yeah. Yes. The dude that I want to talk about real quick when we're talking speed is on the team right now, Calvin Austin, because I've told you this story. I don't know if I've told it on the show, but one of the practices I went to at Latrobe, they were doing the receivers versus D-backs one-on-one. Yeah. And that's always set up for failure for the defensive backs. Let's get that straight. Like one-on-one, that's always set up for failure for the D-backs. But they put, and I don't know why they did this, but they put Terrell Edmonds up on Calvin Austin. And Calvin Austin caught he caught the ball to the outside. Kenny Pickett led him to the outside. He put his foot down. Yep. And then just changed direction. Effortlessly. And I don't even think he hit top speed. And he made Terrell Edmonds look like he was in quicksand. And I have the picture. I'll see if maybe I can find it and put it in the show somehow if I do have it, if I have it quick. But I have a picture of Terrell Edmonds as Calvin Austin's running past him, looking at the defensive backs coach and just putting his hands up like, what do you want me to do? What am I saw that picture.
I saw that picture.
It just, the dude is, that's the fastest human I've seen that close up in person. Yeah. He was different, man.
He's unique, man. I'll say this. If you've ever searched on YouTube as you're looking at our video, maybe on the podcast or YouTube, go watch a video of a Bugatti getting up to speed. That was Heyward Bay. When you hear the turbines turn on, that was Heyward Bay.
Oh, man. Fast. One thing we always say, you can't teach speed. And it is fun to watch dudes who can let it rip and fly like that, man. It's a lot of fun. Not as fun as watching the O-linemen do their thing, though.
You know what? There's a lot of eyes on us right now. We appreciate that, right?
That's right. It's been fun, man.
No doubt, Ed. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
See y'all tomorrow.
Yeah, DK will be back. I won't see you guys, but DK will be back tomorrow. It's been fun. Take care. You guys have a good one.